We are really going to look at some of the manipulation, right? Some of the issues that we see with artificial intelligence. So this whole idea of manipulation, it's kind of big. It refers to just this idea, this act of influencing someone's beliefs or their actions. And there are many different ways to do this. So one of the ways that people are doing this, and that I want you to understand, oh, hang on, I can't see you anymore. There we go. Is understanding just again that definition, right? So when you need to understand manipulation, you need to understand that we're talking about the act of controlling or influencing others. And it's not just, in some sort of, innocent way. It's clever. It is unscrupulous. And we are manipulating AI, and it can take place in so many different ways. And most of the time, we're not aware that we are seeing targeted messaging that takes advantage of our own individual biases, our own thoughts and emotions. And that is the whole idea behind this manipulation, which, of course, is what the word manipulative means. But why? Why AI makes it all the more powerful? Obviously, because we're talking, it's online, it's internet, right? And so anything that we take, whether it is good or not so good, when it is amplified on the internet, it is just widespread. It is more powerful. So misinformation plus artificial intelligence, that is an extremely powerful tool. And so again, as we talk about why, it's because it can be we have rapid data processing, right? Everything's faster. So AI can analyze things, it can process just huge amounts of data like in seconds, right? And just a fraction of the time. And so this is making sure that things are really efficient, right? Personalized experiences. So AI, it also creates this idea that, your own personalized user experience, that it's really according to your individual preferences and your behaviors. So just to give you a really simple example, just with AI, right? Not with manipulation. But if you're sitting there watching Netflix, and let's say you've been watching a bunch of Westerns, right? And then the AI is going to create and be creative with your personalized user experience, and it's going to serve you up more Westerns to look at, more Westerns to view, right? This is according to your individual preferences and behaviors. And while this sounds like a good thing, it can be wonderful. It can serve you up more of what you want, but sometimes it's not so great. So we're going to talk about all of these things. Scalable manipulation. This is the idea that we are able, AI, misinformation, you're able to target numerous individuals simultaneously, right? And so you're able to enhance a marketing strategy or even engagement strategies if you're trying to get people to do something. Oh, let me go here. Just trying to do so many things on my screen at the same time. Okay. So, I've talked about misinformation as it's a powerful tool, but let's talk about generative AI and false content creation. So we've already seen that there is realistic content creation where generative AI, it can produce really things that look realistic, right? Text, images, videos, that it just looks like authentic content. There's also this idea of misleading information, and we can use Gen AI. I'm sure that so many of you have been just really using a lot of Chat GPT or Gemini or Perplexity, and you're able to create some pretty credible looking content, but you have to also fact check it and understand what is there. And there's also this idea of distinguishing fact from fiction, right? Because generative AI really, it starts making up things sometimes. It can hallucinate. And so it becomes really difficult for people to understand what's true and what's not. It becomes difficult for them to verify the authenticity of content. And I see that somebody asked something in the chat. Oh, Sydney said, I love ChatGPT. Yes, I know. And it has saved me too, Sydney. I have to admit, I do like ChatGPT. I also like Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot, Perplexity. I mean, there are a lot of large language models out there, but the difference is that when you are older or an expert or you really know the area, then you're able to like critically think. It's kind of like if you asked a really smart college student to prepare a report on something that you know and that you've worked on for 15 years. And that really smart college student comes back with some ideas, but you as the expert, you know what's real and what's just completely and total makeup stuff. So this is a bit of how generative AI can work. And so that's why it's so important that we can continue to use our critical thinking. So again, some of the issues when we're talking about artificial intelligence is that looking at micro-targeting and psychological profiling. Does anybody remember Cambridge Analytica, right? Where that whole scandal, it highlighted how micro-targeting and psychological profiling can be used to manipulate voters, and that it's AI tools that can analyze user data, and it can create messages that really, really resonate, that make people say, oh my gosh, yeah, this is me. That is like some of the beauty of what ChatGPT can do. I don't know how many of you have used it and it says, wow, that's a really brilliant idea that you had there, Sydney. I say this because it's happened to me and I'm like, oh, wow, that was a great idea. But maybe it wasn't. Not quite sure, but it's things that resonate with us, right? So then we're talking about psychological profiling. And so this is this idea that we're analyzing individual behaviors. You've all seen the different television series where we have the FBI profiling someone. But here it's AI, and we're able to, kind of tweak the preferences so we can tailor communication and influence voter decisions or influence purchasing decisions, marketing decisions effectively. So one other thing here is AI data analysis tools. So we can also see that AI tools, I mean, again, I'm talking about this huge amount of user data that it can process. And again, it can create personalized messages and enhance engagement and manipulation. Once it's published, right, it really can have some confusion, some polarization, some behavior change. And it makes it difficult for people to understand, what's fact, what's fiction. And we can see greater political polarization as individuals, they start becoming really, really entrenched in different views, different narratives. And, what we all understand is that it is absolutely fine to have a different view and a different narrative. If we're sitting here in the room and I like the color purple and you like the color green, it's absolutely fine, right? It's not a big deal. But where we start having, and we can say that, let's call that our political polarization. It's absolutely fine. We respect each other's preferences. We don't have to agree with each other, but it's fine. But sometimes with AI, we have these different levels of misinformation and other things, and causing this confusion. It really, really creates this polarization where the people who like purple now they love purple, and they don't even want to look at the people who have green, and the people who have green are just like don't want to talk to people who have purple. And that's not how humans are. We are meant to have communication, to discuss, to perhaps try to persuade each other's different views. Why not? But always to be respectful. And I think that's something that's missing a lot when we're online. Behavior change as well. The spread of information, especially misinformation, it can result in some significant changes in behaviors. And this can also change the way people react to social issues just because they don't know. And that's something, and it's they don't know for this or for that, and they're trying to find the correct sources of information.